Live from New York City, it's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I can't get over how funny your intro is. Welcome to the show. It's
Just talking.
June 3rd here in bright, sunny, not quite hot yet, New York City. With me is my guest host for the day, Colin Cunningham. Colin, what's on today's show?
Lots of stuff we're going to talk about right now, such as the sunscreen reminder app.
We're going to show you all the cool summer
Sunny.
wearables you can make.
Hot,
sunny,
summery. We're trying because it's cool here. It's very cool. It's like feels like it's like 55.
It was hot last week and it will be hot again. And we have a roundup of summer projects just
We're getting
for you.
in the spirit, yeah.
For Wearable Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. And
then we're going to workshop some of your project ideas in our segment aptly called Project Workshop.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And our component of the week.
We're going to talk about Fona and Fona packs. What's that? Stay tuned to find out.
Gonna find out. I'm curious. And of course, Q&A.
If you have questions about wearable electronics, you can post them in the comments of the show, on Twitter or Google Plus or the Adafruit blog, and I'll gather them up, put them in a future show, answer them, make you eligible to win the show's giveaway, which today is Getting Started with Adafruit Flora by me and Tyler Cooper.
A fine piece of literature. And if you should want to purchase any actual atoms today from the Adafruit store,
your code is Bobbin.
Bobbin.
Bobbin for wearable electronics. You can get 10% off all of the atoms in the Adafruit store. That excludes gift certificates and EagleCAD software, but everything else, 10% off.
Good stuff. You know, my nemesis's name is Bobbin Bunningham.
Bobbin Bunningham?
It's true. So I'm a little disturbed.
I absorbed my nemesis Sticky Burn into my own persona so that I could have better
That's good.
Camera
That's
time.
smart. Your whole of the yin and the yang are together. I'm still broken
Do you bring
up. There's going to be an adventure.
Bunningham with you to work? I've never met Bobbin Bunningham.
No. We're on opposite sides of the planet. He's plotting stuff against me. Anyway, let's not
Is he
dwell
on
it.
an island with a volcano?
It's kind of personal.
Does he have dragons?
Really. Stop.
Okay.
But anyway.
Let's start the show, Colin.
Let's do it.
Or should I call you Bobbin? Every week on the Adafruit site, we have a series of wearable posts for Wearable Wednesday. It's where you can find the coolest news having to do with wearables.
Such as...
Yes.
We
got these
that
great-
looks like cool news.
Yeah, cool news, right?
You didn't have to say anything. It's like, check it out!
There's this thing and this other thing. These are pictures from the Wearable Tech Fashion Show at Maker Faire 2 weeks ago in San Mateo, California.
Blowing up.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, look at, there's some really cool, like, Japanese warrior cosplay kind of LED, future Japanese warrior.
That helmet is pretty on. I mean, in many senses of the word.
And then some light up prosthetics. Really cool. Like, lots of...
If you're gonna go loud, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know that if I didn't have a limb, I would take advantage of it.
You would make it shine.
Yeah, right?
All right.
Put LEDs on it. You can check out more...
In
yeah.
Oh.
You can check out more pictures on the blog.
Okay, cool. I will. Thanks for the tip.
Over in Europe land, a cool LED matrix jacket, kind of like those German guys with the Trefo Pop, that bike
Sure.
group that does uses the the gumdrop addressable water resistant pixels for making cool designs in their jackets. This I'm presuming this French guy made this jacket that has solar panels on that cover up the matrix during the day, right? Charges up a battery, kind of like the Solar Boost bag, and then at nighttime has cool scrolling text display made of LEDs.
You think I'm just conserving energy, but really I got something to say. Come nighttime, check me out, and that's what he's doing there.
Yeah.
And another big world-changing news. Just when you think you knew the world, Google comes out and goes, got something new for you.
I got sent this video. Everybody sent me this video about Google's Project Jacquard, which is named after, of course, the Jacquard loom, which is one of the first examples of computer programming used in the world of punch card weaving machine.
Early days, yeah.
Weaving loom. It was a loom that could use programming to make a picture out of textiles. And
nice early crossover between tech and textiles.
Yeah, the earliest. And Project Jacquard for Google is to make some manufacturable, low-resistance conductive yarn that can be used in commercial textile mills, which is like harder than it sounds, like much easier said than done to make, like any color yarn that's very low
That's
resistance.
the first thing that struck me. I mean, I was joking about Google innovating
Yeah.
because they do this, but it just looks like fabric, not silver, Becky.
Right.
Not metal looking.
Yeah,
What?
not metal looking and
So
not high resistance.
So the question
and can be
is-
used can run through like existing commercial loom equipment instead of having to make a new tool.
So they released this video. I watched this video, and it's mesmerizing. But what is it? What's in it? What is it made of? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know.
They won't tell us.
We don't know. They won't tell us. But the video shows Google engineers making basically like a touchpad out of conductive fibers woven into like commercial upholstery fabric. So you could like your tablecloth. You could like order dessert by like touching your tablecloth, or as in this clip shows, call your friend Alex by swiping your sleeve.
And Sarah, my right sleeve. Google.
Speed dial.
What
Okay,
would we
Google.
do next?
Anyway, I think that I'm laughing because this video is very like visionary and like
It is,
helps
yeah.
capture your imagination. But like my imagination has been captured by wearable electronics for a few years now. So it's not like new. It doesn't seem that new to me, but it's a very nice video.
Color seems big.
Color in conductive
Right.
fiber is big, and the low resistance is a big thing. Yeah, but they don't show you what it's made out of, and they don't show you like, I don't know. I wanted a little
Ring,
more.
ring. Hello. Is Becky there? Yes, it's Google. We've changed everything again. Reset. Okay.
Anyway, so check that out on the blog. This week, our wearables feature is a roundup of summer projects you can make to enjoy your summer more, featuring wearable electronics.
I need to enjoy my summer more. I'm serious.
Perhaps you would like to build one of these projects that
Yeah.
will enable you to, because if you have a solar-powered bag, you might be more inclined to go to the beach. Is that true? Is that a thing for you?
Okay, would be a little incentive.
I know
Not
you
a
can't
huge
get
beach goer.
You won't get me to the beach unless I have to
Pale
film
blue.
B-roll for a wearable
If
electronics
I had a
project.
little tech excuse, maybe it could happen. Could be a
Colin
little
and I are
likely.
more of the sit inside and
Yeah.
enjoy the air conditioning kind of folks.
I burn. I don't tan.
But we made a little video rounding up some of our best summer projects that might get you inspired to make something.
This is a good project for the pale blue skin.
Hope you guys enjoyed. You get inspired to make some summer projects.
Yeah, I need it. I need the inspiration.
Do you need the solar bag that charges your phone?
Probably need everything I can possibly accessorize for summer.
I would like to make a big beach umbrella. How about a velvet blazer with built-in cooling
With
system
fans
inside
all over it. There's actually little velvet remaining. It's all covered in fans and Peltier coolers. Might happen. Stay tuned. And I'll be inside the whole time building it. So
we call the project Permanent Velvet Blazer Season.
right. Write that down.
That's my new band name, Permanent Velvet Blazer.
The discount code.
If you'd like to get some supplies to make your own wearable summer projects, you can use code BOBBIN until 11:59 p.m. tonight and get 10% off all of your items.
Clock's a ticking. But next up, we enter the project workshop.
This is the segment where we take one of your extended project proposals, a wearable idea you have and you have questions about, and we workshop it, break it apart, recommend parts, tutorials, and more to get you on your way. It's kind of like being in some school. It's kind of like being in school and asking your teacher, help me. What should I do about my project?
Right. Not driving off that bridge, driving right over the smooth part and onto the other side.
Yes, success for everyone. So what's this week's question, Colin?
This week's question from Evan Kleist. He writes, "Hey Adafruit, I'm looking into designing my first wearable project and I want to make sure I purchase the right products. I'm making a custom bodysuit and want to attach light-up spikes to it. There would be 5 large spikes along the spine, 3 spikes on each shoulder, and 2 spikes on each wrist." This is elaborate spikes. "I want to put an LED inside each of the spikes. I also have a white diamond on my chest." I guess it's just normal. He just always has one. "That I would like to put a grid of 9 LEDs on. I would be shooting for about 8 hours of battery life, but can carry around extra batteries if a single battery won't last that long. After looking through the Neopixel, Flora, Gemma posts and videos, I'm thinking these products are what I would want." So, Evan is saying 40 Neopixels, 1 Flora, 2 stainless steel conductive thread, a LiPo battery charger, and 2 3.7 volt 2500 milliamp hour LiPo batteries. Okay, so do these products seem correct for my project? Would the Gemma be recommended over the Flora? Will 2 of these batteries give me the battery life I want? Is the stainless thread too resistant for a centrally located controller battery to drive the LEDs spread over the body? If so, what suggestions would you have? How would I wash the suit with everything minus the battery attached? Thanks for the advice, and I look forward to purchasing, completing, sharing my first wearable project with Adafruit.
Cool, Evan.
Cool, very cool. It's a lot of questions,
Yeah,
a lot of questions.
I know, that's why it's a project workshop and not just a regular Q&A, because it's a lot of questions.
Right.
First of all, Evan's question comes from the Adafruit forum, so if you are struggling with similar project idea, or with any project idea and you want advice, it's a great place to post up. It's
the
where
place to go.
I look for extended questions, and we have dedicated engineers there to
very
answer your questions, and I also answer questions there. So anyway, back to Evan's question. Maybe you can go to the next slide.
I can.
Parts that you described sound fine. Sewable Neopixels, Flora, conductive thread, Li-Poly battery and charger. I think that the conductive thread, if it's your first project, running a lot of conductive thread connections from a centrally located place where you want to have pixels on your wrist, pixels on your back, pixels on your chest, that conductive thread is a little overly ambitious for a first project given all of those things. Yes, it is technically possible to use conductive thread to wire up all those things. If it's your first project, it's not what I would recommend for the best possible time.
Start sure, yeah.
Right, so for that reason, you can use the silicone-coated wire, stranded wire, either in the 26 gauge or the 30 gauge.
I love that. Very flexible. It almost seems like there's not a metal conductor inside of it.
So nice,
really
so flexible.
Bizarre.
Protects your doesn't have that resistance over the distance that the conductive thread has. It's an insulated conductor, which means that it's not going to be susceptible to your perspiration or folding the fabric and shorting itself out, or rain. And the connections are going to be more solid when they're soldered, and then you can provide a little bit of strain relief with some E6000 glue or stitches to hold the wires in place.
You've got multicolors.
Yeah, I know. So it's really good, and that's what I would recommend for if you're going to be like sweaty or if it's raining. It's just, or if you're a beginner, the silicone wire is great, and if you don't mind soldering,
and you could convert up if you want to eventually.
I mean, if you want to,
foreseeably,
everybody's got their own goals, right? Like, if your goal is to make this cool costume, then you want to get there as quickly as possible so you can enjoy your whole costume. If your goal is to make something a small element of a costume, then you have the patience to fuss over your stitches, then it sounds like your goal is to get to this big place. So this is my recommendations. The spikes that you mentioned, they sound big and cool. In our Stego Spike hoodie tutorial, we use the big pixel gumdrop LEDs, and those are great if you're talking about a sewable Neopixel and you want diffusion over a large area. You might consider depending on how big the spike is, you might consider trading up some of them for Neopixel jewels, which are 7 Neopixels on a single PCB and might provide you with a little bit more throw. I don't know how big your spikes are though. And then
spike variability.
In a later message on this same thread, Evan asked if he could trade up to this bigger live poly pack, and that's perfectly okay. It's the same voltage, it's just going to last longer, and it's all about whether you want to carry a slim battery, depending on the location, or if you're okay with a chunky.
If you've got some space to accommodate.
It depends on what your costume looks like. Flora versus Gemma. Gemma is lower cost, but it's a little harder to debug for beginners, because there's no serial communication. So with Flora, you can, what did you say, like listen while you
work. You can listen in.
And then your last question about washing. If you head over to the Adafruit Learning System, we have a guide all about washing your wearable electronics. Shows you like the sort of ups and downs, benefits and risks.
And why it's okay to see that image.
Right,
Just a little adjustment. Electronics is water, it's soapy even.
Soapy. Just take the battery out and hand wash is what I recommend. All of the components you mentioned are safe to get wet as long as they dry out again before you power it up.
Microphone would
on this example, the microphone shouldn't be, because it has like an open cavity that can fill with water, and it'll affect the way the microphone picks up sound.
It's like a paper covering on it too.
Right.
Paper-esque.
But your cosplay project doesn't sound like it has any bits in it that can't get wet. Just let it dry out again and read our guide about washing your wearable electronics. Very cool project idea. I can't wait to see it. Please post it up in the forums. Continue to post it up in the forums if you have more questions. If you have a question like Evan's, you can post it up in the forums, and our engineers will be happy to consult for you about what supplies are best for your project. And then you also might be featured here on a future segment of Project Workshop.
Double win. And what rhymes with double win is bobbin.
Bobbin. You can get 10% off all of your cosplay supplies.
And non-cosplay supplies.
And non-cosplay supplies.
Oh, those sound sad, don't they?
Yeah.
But moving onward towards our component of the week.
Okay, component of the week is Fona. And I wanted to talk about Fona because we just put a bunch of new Fona packs in the store, and we haven't really mentioned it on the show before.
It's fresh. It's new. It's a lot new.
Fona
it's a lot of thing.
It's very new, and we're just ramping up all of the cool stuff you can do with Fona. So Fona is Adafruit's open source GSM phone module. And we have a SIM card for it too. Basically lets you do talk and text projects and some basic data projects too.
Right.
Over the cellular network.
Right. The first thing I think of is, so you can make your own cell phone. Well,
you can.
But
you can do that if you want.
What you can do
and
is
it would be the only phone made in the U.S., right? Like all phones are manufactured overseas.
I believe Lady Ada has an Arduino phone she made with it, which is awesome. But really, what you can do is add cellular capabilities to things that you make, wearable things, even non-wearable things, whatever.
Right. A lot of automated notification stuff.
Send me a text over a cell network, which is pretty huge.
Right.
It's like I don't have to be within Wi-Fi. I don't,
Right, and it's not dependent upon like a network that you maintain. Right, like so, like my water heater is leaking. Send me a text message. Now we have three convenient packs for getting started with Fona. When we make a pack, you get a discount too. So there's like a nice deal on top of the discount code we have today. So you can get the Fona pack with the antenna.
And the little fish.
The next one is the little fish is for your headphones.
I know.
Then the Fona pack with the other kind of antenna.
Flat.
The smaller flat antenna. We were brainstorming projects on the in our internal chat system for Fona GPS projects, and we were talking about how you could like maybe track a package that you mail, but you'd have to put the antenna like on the outside of the box.
That could be fun. Yeah.
And it would only pick up when obviously when it has a view of the sky, but like that could be cool to try to track it, right? And then these are all the standalone Fona board, but then the last pack for Fona is a Arduino Shield, right? So if you want to use your
flat antenna,
your Uno or any other Shield compatible Arduino board, you can have a little circuit sandwich with your Fona right on there. And hello, it's Google calling.
Yeah,
we have your Arduino phone.
Oh, Google. Not again. Change my world. Nothing's the same.
Okay, and then the big feature news is this new extra version of Fona called the Fona 808.
It's not a synthesizer.
Machine. Nope. It has a GPS module built in, so you can do like beaconing, texting data updates for your high altitude area balloon. Once it comes down onto the ground, you can have it text you its location periodically. You could have your dog collar text you when your dog leaves the yard. You could put it on your bike as like a security system, like track your bike or your laptop. No, I don't know.
I could put it on my drum machine and have it text me, boom, snare.
Can I make this project?
That would be cool.
Right, with the Fona.
Hello.
Hello, it's the Google calling.
Can I just be Brain? I'll just be the.
So I want to be Penny. I want to be Penny from Inspector Gadget
Inspector
for
Gadget?
Halloween.
That's-
And
dun-dun-dun-dun.
I was thinking I could make the computer book, but now I think I could also make Brain's
Brain is the dog.
collar phone.
You get all of it to talk. Just the little things come out of the collar. Does anyone remember this? Yeah.
I think people remember it.
They should.
Anyway, if you would like to get 10% off any Fona pack or Fona 808, anything that's in stock besides gift certificates and EagleCat software, you can use code BOBBIN
Bobbin, y'all.
until the end of the day.
How about a question and an answer?
We have a few of those.
Let's go through them enthusiastically.
The prize today for the giveaway is a copy of Getting Started with Adafruit Flora by me and Tyler Cooper. I'm a little biased, but I think it's an okay book.
You put love into it. It makes sense. All right.
If you have any questions about wearable electronics, even if you've entered before, all it does to enter the giveaway is to ask a question about wearable electronics in the comments here or on the Adafruit blog or Google Plus or Twitter, and I'll gather them up and answer them on a future episode. So what are today's questions, Colin?
Well, today's first question, I'll go through them one at a time if you don't mind. Cassandra writes, can you use weatherproof vinyl, fabric-backed, with conductive thread underneath hooked up to a capacitive touch sensor? Or is it not conductive enough? Or does it depend on the thickness of the material?
Excellent question, Cassandra.
Right. Oh. And so when I'm thinking, because it can be a little tricky with capacitive touch stuff. I mean, it can seem magical, you know.
It can be tricky or magical, or you can read all about it on Adafruit. And
you could dispel all that mystery if you'd like.
So capacitive touch sensing,
life.
it's sensing like a volume of water or a volume of a big grounded substance, right? Like coming near it. So you can adjust the sensitivity of your capacitive touch sensor. If you look at like the the Bear Conductive Touch Board has a lot of like plain language about this. It talks about like how you can adjust the sensitivity, and so not just touching but just coming near it can trigger it. So in that way, with the Arduino libraries that are available for capacitive touch, you can usually adjust the sensitivity and trigger it from a distance away, which
like
would
a
get you
threshold value. Yeah.
Yeah, which would get you like through the material, and in that sense, you can put conductive thread or conductive paint behind a lot of things: wallpaper, fabric, cardboard, anything but metal, basically, and you'll get a nice surface that is touch sensitive. However, you used a trigger word, which is weatherproof, right? So then I have to think about, like, are you talking about putting this in a wet environment and using the vinyl to insulate the conductive thread from getting wet? And while it's true that a lot of weatherproof vinyl, if it's not perforated, like this stuff we see here, that's perforated by stitches, so that's not waterproof. It's like
that's wet.
It's just vinyl that's been sewn
wet foam
to
back there.
Foam. So like it could protect it from getting wet. But maybe then the water, that if it's getting rained on or something, might then falsely trigger the sensor.
Right. There's a lot of
variables. So I'm not sure about the waterproofness of what you're talking about. But sensing through fabric is definitely a thing you can do with capacitive touch. You just need to adjust it and adjust the sensitivity. And we have a tutorial about using capacitive touch with conductive fabric, which you could put behind regular fabric. And then we have a couple of capacitive touch breakout boards in the store that give you, and there's some tutorials about how to use them on the learning system, so you should check those out. And so yes, go for it, experiment, post your results in the forums or on your blog.
Alter code, alter threshold values.
Yes, and good luck.
Good luck. Mugwump writes, I am designing a costume for my 3-year-old daughter, and I would like to initiate action when she sharply raises her arms. Raise one arm, light up that arm. Raise the other, light that arm. Raise both arms at the same time, light the whole costume. To do this, I thought the vibration sensors would be a good solution, but I want to filter out casual motion. Which vibration sensor to use, however? Probably medium or slow, more spring resistance to eliminate the casual motions. I'm looking for suggestions as to which sensor would be best. The motion I am pairing this with would be sharply raising an arm to point at someone and zap them with her super arm powers, of course.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, you do. I noticed. You just be careful. Or sharply raising both arms over her head to zap everyone with her super costume powers. Thanks ahead of time, Michael.
That's a nice question. It's a cool project idea.
Zap
everyone with your costume powers.
Not just like two people. That just does a whole flood kind of.
So the question is about vibration sensors, which is this smaller one you see cut open in the picture there, and that is a pole with a spring around it, and when it vibrates, the two touch, and it causes it's a digital switch on your in your Arduino code.
Yep.
However, that means that like this kind of action, shaking, is like the same as like this kind of action and any kind of action. The medium vibration switch, I think, is based on my experience, gonna like be the best for experimenting. Whereas
really whack it.
You don't actually. You just have to wiggle it. Yeah, the very slow vibration switch though, you have to like flick it really hard to make it go. So my recommendation would be to try those two, because they're not that expensive. They're like $2 or something. Pick up all three of these sensors. I'm going to recommend the medium, the slow vibration sensor, and then also the tilt ball switch, which is the shiny gold can you see on the screen.
Yeah, that seems to have promise.
And what it is a post and a ball inside the can, and so when it's this way, the ball doesn't touch the pole, and then when it's this way, the ball falls and touches the pole. And that way you're going to be able to get an orientation of the arm, and it won't be triggered by not that orientation.
Yeah, you could foreseeably like jolt it upward fast enough, but unless you're jumping in place repeatedly.
And you can compensate for that in your code a little bit too, like some debouncing, you know?
Yeah,
like
you could ignore it if it's not a very long, sustained switch.
Right.
Contact.
Yeah, so these sensors are cheap though, so I would pick up a couple and try out, see what works the best.
Yeah, it's good to know which.
The very advanced solution would be to use an accelerometer and then like detect the orientation and go close to a target orientation, but I think that it's like an order of magnitude more expensive and complicated.
Yeah, it's a cool next step if you wanted to, but
yeah.
I like simple solutions.
Me too.
Next question. From Iterfly. Iterfly? I was wondering if Fona is compatible with Flora, and if it is, can someone show me the connections I have to make?
Yes, it is, so. And since all the Fona stuff is really new, we just haven't done a project with Fona and Flora, a Flora Fona. Florona yet.
I called it.
However, they are compatible. The Fona can communicate with Arduino over hardware or software serial, and our dear friend Rick in the forums does explain to you how to do it. He's so helpful.
He is, okay. So he just spells out all the connections.
Yeah, he says you can use hardware serial, which is just, you can look up like any example for hardware serial communication on your Flora board, which will cover you for your Arduino Micro and your Arduino Leonardo as well. And then if you want to do software serial, you can do that on an Uno or on a Flora using the following pin mappings and code configuration.
Nice.
So if you beat me to it and you make a Florona project, share it with us and we'll be sure to blog it up. It's on my to-do list, though. Thanks for the encouragement.
I believe it. I can imagine.
I got a lot of things on the to-do list.
No doubt, lady. All right, so SC Fishy writes, I have a cosplay project in which I want to have an Arduino Gemma powered on and have leads going into the fingers on a glove using conductive thread, and power on a Neopixel when I touch the leads coming off of an object. If I do this, do I risk damaging the Neopixels? If so, can I prevent damage with resistors or anything of the sort? So this is about actually
powering the Neopixel, like not having power on the pixel, but then touching it to two pads that are providing power and ground.
And then that's going to make the connection.
Yeah, so
we don't know what this object is exactly.
No, but I can deduce from the question. I mean, we can talk about the technical challenges, right? So Neopixels are a little bit fragile in that they shouldn't be connected to power but not ground because of the way the circuit is built up. That charge can damage the components, and it needs ground to be happy. So rather than providing power and ground on the object and touching it with your glove, I would recommend creating a sensor that digitally informs your Gemma to tell the Neopixel to turn on, which has its own power and ground already connected.
Software switch, if you will, yeah.
Right, so you can do like a conductive thread pad, and it's detecting when it grounds it out, you know, like you have the internal pull-up resistor and you're just using the digital input on your Gemma to detect when you're touching. You can also maybe do a little bit of cap touch sensing, but that might be overkill depending on what you're doing. I would just use a digital...
Right off the bat, I just wouldn't want mission critical power going across this.
Right, and the current delivery across a tenuous connection like that is not going to be great. So if it's just one LED, like okay, and I would say if that part is really important to you, then switch it out for a solid color LED sequin, which can't be damaged by just connecting the power, like it'll be fine. Neopixels are a little bit more sensitive. So I would recommend anyway, just for optimal power delivery, to just use a digital switch.
So Neopixel, hooked up, wired, everything, just gets turned on in software by another switch.
Right. So you can check out like our zipper switch tutorial is a good one to look at for like a digital a soft switch using a digital input.
Okay, cool.
Okay, those are the questions. Everybody who asked a question, including the project workshop, goes into the sticky burn hat. Would you like to pick today's winner, Colin?
Would I? Ooh, it's all tied up. Today's winner.
Who is it? Who wins the book?
Is Cassandra Phillips Sears.
Yay, congratulations.
Question about the weatherproof vinyl and the capacitive touch sensor.
You can read all about more wearable electronic sensors in your new free book. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com saying that you're the winner of the book today, and we'll ship it right out to you. Thank you so much. If you didn't win, we have something for you. That would be a discount code. So you can get 10% off all of the wearable electronics of your dreams using the code Bobbin today.
Bobbin.
Tonight, if you have a project, wearable or otherwise, to show off, you can join our weekly show and tell hangout on Google Plus on air. That's a video show with Mr. and Mrs. Lady Ada. And
checking out projects, talking about making projects.
Yes, every week.
There.
It's a fun time. All you have to do is RSVP on the Google Plus event, saying you want to be added to the circle. Then you'll be invited every week. And anytime you have a cool project to show off, you can do so.
It's like a virtual hackerspace right there.
Pretty much. And after that is Ask an Engineer from 8 to 9, which is fabulous. Learn about new products, new tutorials, and more going on at Adafruit. And then tomorrow is the 3D show, 3D Hangouts with Noe and Pedro Ruiz. And you can learn some CAD techniques, some special considerations about combining electronics into your 3D printing projects, or sometimes there's some wearable stuff. Tomorrow, the project is animatronic tail.
Ooh.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
Cosplay tail with the
Mm-hmm.
trinket and a servo and its swishy tail.
I've heard chatters of that.
Yeah, it's very cool. So check it out tomorrow. All day long is 3D Thursday on the blog and the 3D Hangout video. Colin, thanks for hosting the show again.
Becky, thanks for letting me host the show with you.
It's Colin and Becky show.
I enjoy it. It's fun. Live from New York, Tronic City.
We have more wearable electronics all day on the blog because it's Wearable Wednesday. So if you can't get enough, head over there for more. And shout out to everybody in the chat with us today, Sally, etc. And we'll see you right back here next week with Phil's special segment about his new Apple Watch.
You're gonna love it.
Watch this Wednesday. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already so you can tell when we're always going live. And see you next week.
Bye, people.